Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome to a new video, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a different one. Instead of an Elden Ring build or something else generic, today I'll be covering what is now one of my favorite games. In front of you, you can see my favorite character from one of my new favorite games, my favorite character being Soul Bad Guy. Today we'll be covering Guilty Gear Strive.
Smell of the game.
Alright, before we get into anything I want to talk about, whether it be about characters, gameplay, or something a little extra I'm going to add at the end, first I should probably cover what Guilty Gear Strive actually is. As you'll see in the later clips in the video, and even pretty soon probably, this is a fighting game, a traditional fighter similar to things such as Street Fighter, and Tekken, I guess, is also a traditional fighter. I'm very new to the genre, so please forgive me if I make any mistakes in this video. I have about 80 hours in Strive, and if we head to the network, I have reached floor 8, I believe, is the floor I'm on. Yep, floor 8. Despite being in Oceania, I do play in Japan servers, so it does get quite laggy, sadly. But if we go to my home region, you'll see there's a bit of a problem. People play in open park, sure. There are a few people in the open park. However, the ranked mode is completely dead. No one in Oceania plays, so I have to play in Japan. I think it's the next closest area lag-wise. However, if you're a bit more of an expert on the situation, do let me know if any of the areas that are active, like I believe Europe and USA is very active. If you know that any of those regions are active, there don't need to be like thousands of players at a time. I mean, hang on. Look at the Japan servers, man. I consider this active. 60, 60, 70 on the 3 floors I can access. Go into open park. Bunch of rooms with people in them. You know, this is what I consider active. I understand fighting games aren't exactly that big. By the way, yeah, so that's pretty much the introduction. Guilty Gear is a fighting game. It's got all your classic things like arcade, survival versus for like your local stuff versus you can do another player. Survival is just infinite waves. You keep your health between waves, although at least you regain some. Arcade is your classic arcade mode. Be warned, the final boss of the arcade mode is fucking difficult. If you play Guilty, you know what I'm talking about. You got your trainings, missions, tutorial. You can actually, one thing I like about Guilty Gear is you can do combo searches and combo creates. For newer players especially, you're going to be in combo search a lot, I think. Because what it does is it allows people to upload combos for people to do them and for them to become muscle memory. Now with me on Soul, a lot of my combos are things I've come up with myself and in training. However, there are plenty of things in here that you can use. Even I use some of the things I found in combo search. I use it all on the characters like Sin and Axel when I was trying to figure them out. Story mode is not playable. It is a 4-hour long movie, I believe, so feel free to enjoy that in your own time if you want to learn more about the Strive lore. R-code is basically your profile. As you can see, you have badges. It displays, for me, I display my floor and rounds. You can see your battle chart, which for me, obviously, on Soul specifically, is probably the only one that has any real progress. But as you can see, you got that. Those are all those stats you can see. I'm not the best player, obviously, if it wasn't obvious. You can see who I've won against. I've never won against a Leo, an Ino, and an Asuka, 2 of which I know I've fought, being Ino and Leo, not the bottom one, but 2 above him. Yeah, who have I won against the most? Bridget, that makes a lot of sense. I also do a lot of Soul Mirror matches. You can see different characters here, obviously. Apparently, I've fought against Kai and won. No, I think that was my friend. I think this counts lobbies with friends, because I definitely haven't fought with him, I agree with you. I already fought more, and just not one. You can see total matches won. That does that track? Probably. My math's pretty bad. And it's high against one against higher floor players, 17. I don't have any perfects or anything, but yeah, you can do your stats here. It's pretty cool. You can see a nice little graph. As I said, I'm not the best at the game, but I think getting to floor 8 in 80 hours is pretty good. You can have a little thing at the bottom there, you see the description. Mine is just, it used to be win or lose, let's have fun, but sort of realized that I probably should apologize for laggy games, so I just say sorry, no one's an OCE, being Oceania. I have a badge list, which you can display. You can display, you know, your victory count. This is different characters. It doesn't show accurate, obviously. It's just to the nearest like 10. I think you get like 10, 50, stuff like that. That's all that is. You got like how much money you have, once again. Well, no one seems to show. Yeah, so the money one will show, but like that's only if you investigate. In briefly, you can customize your room, which are used in rooms, which you can make public, but you're probably going to be using that for friends. You have a follow list. I don't think I follow like anyone except like maybe 1 or 2 people. I follow my friend. That's it. He doesn't even play Soul. Apparently, I have followers. I don't know who followed me. Obviously, my mate did, but then I have a few other followers. Amelia, Anagura Yuki, and Ananji. So maybe I played well and they liked me. Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was quite cool that you could see all that. You got your total. Obviously, if we go through characters, you'll see it's all pretty much 0. It's like Axel, so you can see 0, 0, 0, 0. Pretty much everyone's 0. I played a little bit of Sin online and didn't work out too well. But yeah, you can see overall Soul is hard carrying each category. Anyway, that's that. I will now get back to what I want to talk about in the video with B-roll in the background that you probably see throughout the video again. Also, if you see something in a corner or in the middle, like bottom middle of a screen or something, I'm trying something with music. As I don't have a USB, I can just transfer music to my PlayStation with for the video editor, and for some fucking reason they don't let you use your Spotify account. But I thought I figured out a way to get a clip in, and I just record the music. I'll have it low. Obviously that might fall under copyright things, but I've seen people use Guilty Gear music before, so I don't know. So we'll just see what happens. If I have it quiet enough when I talk over it, it should be fine. Anyway, I'll get in the video now of me talking in post-com. I just wanted to explain what the game was, because I sort of realized that I probably need to do that to give you an idea of what Guilty Gear is before we really start going into it. Into the video. Alright, if it wasn't completely obvious by the intro of the video, Soul Bad Guy is my favorite character in Guilty Gear Strive. He is a perfect mix of pretty much everything in the game, and on release he was completely broken. I wasn't playing on release, I've only started playing since, like, I think last month, hence the 80-hour thing. But, as you can see in the gameplay, by the way, there was supposed to be music in the background until I realized PlayStation's shitty editor doesn't allow me to have music and a voiceover at the same time. I will take a mental note for when I take videos like this to just fucking make a commentary and just edit bits out and then put the music over it. I apologize, this video was supposed to be fucking like my magnum opus because I really wanted to show off how much I loved it by really making a good video, but I got cucked by the fucking system, so I apologize. Maybe one day I'll remake the video when I know more about Guilty Gear, and I will keep this in mind for later things. Anyway, Soul is basically the main character. Not basically, he is the main character. Lore-wise, a long time ago, he was a scientist. His name was Frederick. He wasn't always Soul Bad Guy. And he had a wife. His wife was dying of a terminal illness, and someone you'll probably get to know when I talk about lore, called That Man, I believe his name is. Well, I don't think it's his name, but that's what he's referred to as. I don't know if he's ever revealed to be an actual character in the game. He's not playable to my knowledge, unless he is Happy Chaos or something. I don't remember too much. Anyway, later on, she gets, his wife Arya gets turned into a gear, and Soul also gets turned into a gear with the Flame of Corruption, and he adopts the name Soul Bad Guy, and there's a bunch of lore stuff. I'm not too good at lore in this game, but you're just going to take my word for it. For characters, I'm not too sure. A lot of Soul stories based in the main story of the game, and I don't know too much about the main story of the game. I know a lot more about the side stories, and as I said, sadly, since Soul is the main character, a lot of the story is based around him, so a lot of his lore is dug in that, so I will need to do more research on that. Anyway, Soul is a perfect character for me, as he is a perfect balance of everything. He has slightly ranged attacks, he has close range attacks, he has high hitting damage, he has very easy to pull off combos. He's a perfect starter character, which is why he probably has ease of use of 5 stars, because he is so easy to use. I would recommend Soul to any new player to the game. He can play very well, and he can carry you through the first few floors, but once you truly learn him, you'll be able to carry yourself up to the top floors. in absolutely no time. What I love about Soul is, I guess, no taking shit attitude. You know, he has that going about him. He's just a good guy in general. He may be bad guy, but he is not bad guy. Soul Bad Guy is definitely one of my favorite characters in fiction now. I love the guy. He's just a fucking absolute lug. Fun fact for later, he, despite Sin Kisuke being Kai Kisuke's son, Soul Bad Guy was the one who raised Sin, in a sense. I say in a sense, I think it was. Once again, you're going to have to take anything I say lore-wise with a grain of salt, unless I can say it with a degree of certainty, because, once again, a lot of Soul's story is in the main story of everything, and I'm not too good at, like, the main story of things. Anyway, Soul is a character I would highly recommend to anyone new to picking up the game, or anyone that just wants a different character to play. He's seen as a brain-dead sort of monkey character, but there is a lot of technical things you can do with Soul. There's a lot of things to know as Soul. And, oh, I got Potemkin grabbed, okay. Anyway, that's the end of Soul's bit. And, we'll see you in the next character, I guess. Alright, Kai Kisuke, or however you want to say it, is the next character in our chopping block of characters. I'm going in order of how, the poses were selected for the, cards. And, Kai is next. Kai seems, on the surface, as basic gets. If this weren't Soul being the main character, Kai would be the main character, as Kai is, to my knowledge, the protagonist. By the way, the games you'll be seeing in the background from now on aren't me playing. I'm not as good as these players. These are, like, from floor 8 to Celestials. Typically, floor 10s and Celestials I grab clips from. I don't know how to play every character, and I didn't want to disappoint anyone, so I just put this, other people. So, not that they'll need it, but thank you to everyone that participated in this. Once again, these were just like clips I found in the replay section, but I just do want to say thank you for playing the game, I guess. I don't know. It's weird to say thank you for that, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, Kai is the protagonist of Guilty Gear, at least to my knowledge with how the lore goes. Him and Soul are rivals, once unfriendly rivals to now friendly rivals, Soul even raising Kai's child, Sin Kisuke. Or Sin Kisuke. I say Kisuke, I'm just saying Kisuke because that's what the announcer says, and that's probably how it's pronounced, but it's probably Kisuke, I don't know. Anyway, Kai is another very good, balanced character. He actually falls under that class as well, balanced, same as Soul. He has good ults, unlike Soul. Soul has very situational ults. No, but he has good ults he can use. He has one for when he's under a certain amount of HP. He does good damage. He has very good combos, very good, easy to pull off combos. Much like Soul, he probably teaches you the fundamentals very well. He doesn't really specialize in one thing, as balanced characters typically go. He has very good pressure. He's one of the few characters that can send out a neutral projectile very fast, or he has one that'll hit multiple times, but is a bit slower to come out, so it's a bit more reactable. I haven't got much to say about every character, obviously, so I will try and pad it out a bit with me just explaining characters. Kai is an interesting character to me. I don't think he's, like, the most interesting character, but I definitely wouldn't call him, like, one of my least favorites. He's definitely still up there, but he's just, he's just not much to me, I don't feel much about Kai Kisuke, personally. But that's just me. There are a bunch of Kai mains out there that are willing to teach you, or at least have guides up on their channel, of how to play the character, because a lot of people want to play Kai, a lot of people want to play Soul, people want to play Potemkin, there are a lot of people that want to play every character, and there's always someone there to teach you how to play him. Kai is a character that I think you could pick up much like I did Soul, and be able to take yourself very far, just based on your own training experience, but always feel free to look up combos and stuff for characters or set plays, and I'm sure you'll master things eventually. Kai is a very solid character. I would recommend him for newer players. When mastered, he is a very dangerous foe. I think he has one of the highest pick rates in the entire game next to Soul. And yeah, that's about it for Kai Kisuke. I mightn't need as much gameplay as I thought I might. Oh May, what is there to say about the character that's well known for using one move and one move only? That being, charge if you play in English, or if you play in Japanese, that would be Totsugeki. A phrase that's probably bound to send thousands of Guilty Gear players into a panic attack with a PTSD episode sitting along next to their best friend, Leo Whitefang, in that category. Anyway, we'll get onto that when we get to Leo. May is a very good character, as I'm probably going to say for a lot of them, because every character can be played well. After watching all the clips of people playing while assembling them, I realized that any character is good, as long as you're good with them. However, May is very notorious for being very spammy. Do I believe that you need to spam as May to do well? No, check out these clips, for instance, that are playing in the background. You don't need to spam in the slightest to play well as May. She's just got a reputation for it. Little fun fact, I was going to play May before I actually fell in love with Sol. Before I started playing Sol, I was going to be a May player because I thought she was cute. I thought she was a cute girl, and I was like, yeah, why not? I wouldn't mind, having a bit of cuteness on my screen while I play. Get a nice warm fuzzy feeling in my heart. It's it's nice. It's very nice. But I ended up going for the rough and tough Sol, so how things change, I guess. Yeah, that's probably why I had stats on my May earlier, so I don't remember if I actually played online as May, though. I don't remember. Either way, May is a part of a group called the Jellyfish Pirates, which is assembled by someone called Johnny. He is playable. You will see him towards the last half, or he's like the last two characters in the character section that we'll be covering, so you'll see him much, much later. But yeah, May, honestly, solid character. Is she easy for beginners? I wouldn't say easy for beginners. If you don't know how to do like the Totsugeki spam with like the hold back and then do forward type thing, which even I struggle with myself when I play May, if I ever do play May, and the very rare occasion I play May. I do struggle with that a little bit, so that's just me personally. That's a skill issue though. So I don't know if she's easiest for new characters to pick up. I wouldn't say she is. Especially if you want to do good things with May. So just know if you do end up maining May and you are new to Guilty Gear, that you might struggle a little bit if you don't know the fundamentals of the game. Am I saying don't play May? No, if you mesh with the character, by all means, play them. I'm not going to tell you not to, alright? That's not my MO. However, just be warned, for me personally, I believe May is a bit harder. She's not the hardest character in the game, we'll see those characters come up a bit later, but she is definitely harder to use than other characters. Overall, May is a great character. Her pressure is pretty good. If you spam with her, then you are scum. No, if you don't, try not to spam with her. If you want to be recognized as a good May player, good May players don't spam. They use their moves like sparingly. I'm not saying you can't ever use Totsugeki. Just keep it to a minimum. I'm not saying you can't use your best move. I'm just saying to not use it over and over and over. It's no fun for anyone when that happens. Anyway. That's about it for May. Not much to say on her. She's a cute girl with a big anchor who can summon dolphins. She also has a massive crush on Johnny, but that's completely different. Anyway, on to the next character. Axel Lowe, also known in real life as Axel Rose, as my mother pointed out to me after showing her a few of the Guilty Gear characters. Fun fact about Guilty Gear, a lot of the things in it, especially characters and character names, are actually based on musicians and stuff. I think Soul Bad Guy, a lot of his name actually comes from Queen songs, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but Axel Lowe is definitely Axel Rowe. He even looks a little bit similar to Axel Rowe when he was a bit younger. Anyway, I digress. Axel is the resident zoner in Guilty Gear. He has long-range attacks, as you can see. You can play in very close range. I actually have come across an Axel that played very close range, and it was very fun. Axel has time powers, along with his two sickles. Story goes, when Axel was a kid, he grew up around violence in a very bad part of Britain. And, basically, when he got older, he used his, I don't know what it's called. He used his chain swords, we'll just call them chain swords, or chain sickles. And, he basically pretty much eradicated crime. Not in like he'd killed them way. He was a bit of a pacifist despite fighting people. According to Eno, I'm pretty sure it's an alternate version of him, but I assume not much has changed, so we'll just go off that for the sake of the video. Every time he would throw a punch, he would start crying, because he didn't want to hurt people. He didn't like it. He didn't like the violence, despite growing up around it, which is pretty admirable. But one day, he was sucked away from everything, his friends, his girlfriend, and he was sent throughout time. And he only recently gained control of his powers in Guilty Gear Strive. And as far as the story goes, after that, turns out Eno actually is like a time-traveling version of his girlfriend, and then at the end of the story, she actually performs a swap with Axel. Not Axel, sorry, with Axel's girlfriend, So then Axel meets up with his girlfriend again in the current timeline. It's all a bit convoluted because that's typically how time travel goes, but that's sort of the basis of it. Axel is a very good character. I do like Axel. His theme is awesome. Out of the Box is a great song. You're hearing snippets of it with all the character cards. I can't add them here, sadly. I really do like Axel. He's really good. I guess, what else do you say about the time traveler nice guy? He's the only guy that really, he doesn't care, you know? He could wake up in a different timeline tomorrow and it wouldn't bother him because he's just let to deal with it. But he's gained control of his time powers now, so he's pretty alright. Even as a super. I've probably talked about what the character does. I've been talking about lore for a while. Sorry about that. He's pretty hard for new players to pick up. Zoners typically are. Unless you're used to zoning in games like Mortal Kombat and stuff, I think you'll find Axel pretty good for you. He hasn't got any bullets or anything, but he does fire out his chains very far. And he's a very good character. Is he hard? For some players, yes. For others, I'd say he'd be quite easy to pick up. There is close range Axel, there's long range Axel, but he's got good pressure and stuff, so overall I'd recommend Axel Low to anyone willing to try the British man out. Anyway, that's it for Axel. Sorry if I rambled on lore for too long, and that'll be it. He wins this round, by the way. I'm probably going to cut it off before you see it, but he does win this round. Welcome to Chip section. Chip Zanoff, the canonical weeb of the game and leader of a country. He formed himself in South Africa because he took it over himself and he declared himself the president. And now we have President Chip Zanoff. The canonical weeb, as I said, if you don't know what that term means, is basically someone who's obsessed with anime culture and thinks themselves some sort of, well, technically they think themselves an anime protagonist, but weeb's just been kind of turned into a term that for anyone who likes anime. So, yeah, well, anyone that likes it more than casually, so I'd be described as that because it's pretty much my main form of, television, I guess. Anyway, Chip is a very fast character. He's I forget what they call him. I think he's a rushdown. That's it. He's a rushdown character, so if you enter rushdown characters in the games, Chip will mesh very heavily for you, I believe. Chip is a character I have considered using on more than one occasion. Every time I see a Chip play, it makes me want to play him. Chip is a very fun character to use. He's very quick, speedy, he's got different moves. Alpha Blade is a great move to use. Gamma Blade's good. His Dust ability is good. His ults are very good. You get hit by Chip's ults a lot. Story-wise, I already covered a little bit, but we'll go into a bit more. Chip was a cocaine addict. I'm probably going to have something bad happen to this video because I mentioned that, but it is what it is. Chip was a cocaine addict. He recovered. He found out about Japan in the Guilty Gear universe, which got fucking exploded off the face of the map, pretty much, and Japanese people are an endangered species, such as Baiken and Mei, I think is part Japanese as well. But anyway, he found out about the arts, he learnt them, he basically became what every person that watches anime wants to be, the fucking protagonist of his own story. And he tried to run for president in the US. He didn't win. Then he went to a place in South Africa, and he took it. He took it for himself, and he declared himself Chip, the president of Southeast Chipland or something. I don't remember the name of the place. I just remember he is president of a country he took over himself. He didn't take it over like in a hostile way or anything. I think he just kind of went there and established a government. So. Guilty Gear story is pretty fucking crazy, I guess, huh? Anyway, Chip has some great pressure. I have been stuck in the corner against many a Chip. It's really funny whenever that happens, actually. You can see here, this ult. He just has very nice things. He's got the cliche spiky teeth that certain anime characters have, like Shinra from Fire Force, for instance. Overall, Chip is a very good character. Is he easy for new players who have never played a fighting game before to pick up? No. He's a glass cannon. He has the least amount of health in the entire game. He is capable of high damage, such as every character, but he is one of the easier characters to deal high damage on, I think. But he is also very easy to fuck up with because of his lower health pool. So if you do plan on learning Chip, you're going to have to invest a lot of time into learning how to defend, and getting into your offense on Soul players who realistically have so many safe moves that it's not hard. I say that as a Soul main. Anyway, that sounds like Chip's bit done, I think. Let's head on to the next character. Potemkin, otherwise known as the resident grappler in Guilty Gear Strive. If you don't know what a grappler is, I will try and explain it to the best of my ability. Remember, I'm very new to the category, that's not it, the genre of game as a whole, so I may get this wrong, but judging by what Potemkin does, I believe it is a character that specializes in grabbing opponents, getting in close, and stuff like that. Potemkin is a very difficult character to play, in my opinion. I would not recommend him for anyone new to fighting games in general. If you know grapple as well, you might end up liking Potemkin. Obviously, once again, if as a new player you think Potemkin just looks cool, by all means learn him. That's how grapplers get started, man. They gotta start somewhere, even if they're not very good. Potemkin is a character that you will either beat the ever-loving shit out of the opponent with, or you'll get your fucking shit pushed in so hard that you will not want to play Potemkin anymore. From what I've seen, if Potemkin doesn't get an initial combo off or a grab, he's pretty much fucked for the rest of the game, as he has no real way of getting in except for a sort of jumping move. He cannot forward dash. I don't even think he can back dash. Being the heavy character he is, it's not necessarily a surprise that he's limited in those toolsets. However, Potemkin is capable of some of the highest damage in the entire game with Potemkin Buster and Heavenly Potemkin Buster, his super. Overall, Potemkin is a great character. I wouldn't recommend for any beginner, however, because he is just a bit complicated, but if you're willing to take the time, Potemkin will definitely take you very far, as he is a character that can do massive damage with seemingly no effort. However, the effort Potemkin puts in is a lot more than you could probably ever realize. Story-wise, Potemkin was a slave at some point, and him and someone else, I forget his name, basically stood up as a regime and took over. Part of Potemkin's theme is him thinking maybe that was the wrong choice, but he lives on knowing that hopefully, even though he may never see the efforts, the fruits of his labor, maybe the future generations will, and that's enough for him to carry on. Potemkin is a very good character, very well written, a very well designed character, probably one of the coolest designs in the whole game. He gives Soviet Russia vibes, with you can't see it here because he's you could see it in the opening slide of Potemkin that he has that military green thing going on. Other than that, not much else to say on the Potemkin. I think he's a very cool character. He's very hard to play for definitely new players in the fighting game genre. But if you're willing to give him a shot, you might just find yourself loving the grappler. Faust, the paper-bagged man with the giant scalpel, the Doctor in a previous, life, in a sense, since he ran away from it all and became someone completely new. Faust is a completely unique character, much like another character we'll be talking about a bit later. Unique is actually his classification. He doesn't really follow any standard archetype, however I do believe he was one of the first to initiate an archetype, commonly now called as the RNG archetype. Faust has multiple moves that don't include RNG, however his mainstay, I don't remember the name of it in this game, however in other Guilty Gear games I do know it was called What Is This? He'll just throw a random item. It doesn't cycle between them. It is completely random which item he gets, and it's just kind of fun to fight against because you never know what Faust is going to go throw next. The Faust never knows what he's going to throw next. He could throw a bomb, he could throw a hammer, he could throw a banana peel, or he could throw a fucking meteorite. Frankly, it's completely up to the RNG of the game to decide what you get hit with. One of the funniest ults in the entire game, changing depending on which character you hit it on. Faust is definitely a unique character in both gameplay and personality and everything else. Faust is actually my little brother, the person that does the thumbnails for these videos. It is his favorite character in the entire game. He loves Faust, and as do I. Faust is a very fun character to play and to just have on screen. As you can see in the gameplay, he's quite wacky. He's just a fun guy, but in the lore, Faust is actually quite a tragic character. He used to be known as someone called Dr. Baldhead. One day, when he was actually known, as a pretty renowned surgeon, someone was described as someone who had healing powers. He was that good. But one day, he did an operation on a little girl, and it was sabotaged by the Assassin's Guild, and he went completely insane, and he killed a lot of people. And one day, he realized what he did, and he ran away from it all. Dr. Baldman was to never be seen again, and afterwards, Faust emerged. Faust is Dr. Baldhead, don't get it twisted, they are the same character, but Dr. Baldhead is no more, only living with Faust. Faust is a much more comedic-based character, it seems. As you can see in the gameplay once again, he's a lot more comedic in what he does. and his movements and stuff. However, in Strive, he's a lot more lanky, and he looks a bit more disheveled because he's sort of relapsing and realizing, like, damn, I killed those people, huh? He's sort of realizing that. But, you know, that's just how lore works in fighting games, I guess. It doesn't seem like much, and then it's deep as shit. Other than that, though, I think Faust is quite a fun character, as many people will probably agree. Faust is just fun to have in the game, fun to watch, fun to play. Overall, Faust isn't insane. He's not easy for new players to learn, but he's probably a lot easier than some other characters in the game. I wouldn't recommend Faust for new players, unless you just like that wacky sort of gameplay, as you need to understand each tool and how to react to each tool he throws out very well. Because you're never guaranteed hammers, you're never guaranteed meteors. So as long as you know what to do with Faust and how to react to each and every single item, even if it's just majority and not all of them obviously, I think you'll do just fine. And that's all I have to say about Dr. Faust. Milia Rage, probably one of the characters I know the least about, as personally I am not a massive fan of her design. However, I do like her gameplay quite a lot, and I have fought a lot of Milias over my time. She's a very fast killer. I'm not playing Dead by. She's a very fast character, and it's very hard to react to a lot of her moves, if I do say so myself. She has a lot of options in terms of close range. When it gets to sort of longer ranges, she doesn't have quite as much, but thankfully Milia has moves and is fucking fast, so she doesn't have much trouble getting back into the fray of things. She has great Okizime, I think it's called. Don't ask me fully what it means. To my knowledge, just being able to hit two sides at once, so it makes it damn near impossible to fucking block anything. She's very good at that, to my knowledge. Overall, she is a rushdown character, much like Chip, so if you like Chip, you might want to try out Milia. She is a very fun character from little bits I have played with her. I have considered using Milia more than once. However, her design is the only thing holding her back from me. Her theme, Love the Subhuman Self, is also a great song. Not my favorite in the entire franchise, I can't lie, but still definitely one of the better songs in the Guilty Gear playlist. Not that any of them aren't bad, except I don't like one of them. We'll get to that when we get to that character. I don't like their theme. But that's just me. I'm probably going to try listening to it again, though, to see if I can sort of get into it, because I felt the exact same way about, like, other characters' themes, and then ended up liking them, so I'll try again with it 100%. Other than that, though, I can't really say much about Milia, as I don't know much about her. I know at some point she was in the Assassin's Guild, and her and Zato were madly in love. Zato, I believe, is the character after Milia we'll be covering. Other than that, once again, I don't have much to say on Milia. I don't know much about Milia. All I know is she is very easy for new players to pick up and play. I believe that you can just pick her up and do very well with her. Much like Kai and Sol, except she is not balanced on everything. She is full rushdown, so if you like running up to people and just pressing buttons, Milia is 100% a great character for you. I have seen some amazing Milias play, and that's about it. Yeah, once again, sorry if you made Milia and you were looking forward to hearing what I had to say about Milia. I just don't know enough about the character to comment, and I'd rather have no comment at all than start speaking out my ass. Zato01, or as I will just be calling him, just Zato. And, of course, can't mention Zato without mentioning Eddie, his shadow demon. Zato is the second of, I believe, 3 unique characters. However, I can't name the other unique characters, so we're just going to pretend like there's only 2 of them. Zato and Faust are our 2 unique characters, and as we talked about Faust earlier, we're obviously now going to be talking about Zato. Sorry, I'm fucking going around in circles. I'm a little bit unscripted on Zato, I'll be honest. Zato is a puppet character, much like characters from games like, Naruto, Boruto, not Shinobi Strikers. I think there's a puppet character in that. Generation Ninja Storm. That's the fucking game, Ninja Storm, I think. I don't play Naruto, so... No, but, puppet characters are very unique, obviously, and Zato is one of the characters in the game, much like Chip, where every time I fight against or see a Zato playing, it makes me want to use Zato, because Zato is just incredibly fun. Like, everything about him is just fucking amazing. You can just set Eddie up behind someone and then just do some massive fucking combo. It's fucking crazy the shit I've seen Zato players pull off. Zato players probably got to be like the most 9,000 IQ players in all of Guilty Gear, I can't lie. This character is mad complicated to play. So, if you are a new player, be warned, if you like Zato, you're going to go down a very long fucking treacherous route of just fucking how the fuck do I get Eddie behind them, or how the fuck do I set Eddie up. But once you fucking get over that hurdle, Zato will fucking be your main for the rest of this game's lifespan. I'm telling you, and that's a very long time from what I hear. I've heard they plan on taking Guilty Gear for a while. It's already been 3 years now, and it seems like they're still going strong. You know, player base isn't massive, but no fighting games is. Realistically, I think Guilty Gear is pretty big in the fighting game space in terms of players. So there is that. Zato is definitely a fun character to use. Lore-wise, he was a assassin in the Assassin's Guild until he was killed, and then in another Guilty Gear game, he was called Eddie because Eddie was basically puppeting his body like a meat puppet. And then he got revived, and now he only has one feeling, his extreme love for Melia, which is quite fucking heartwarming, I guess. Ignore the fact in the clip that he's changed the color, so Eddie looks like a certain substance produced when humans reproduce. That's not... That's just a funny coincidence, alright? The milkman came, that's all I'm saying. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Zato is a great character. Is he impossible for a new player to pick up? No, not at all. You'll probably find early stages not many people will even know how to counter Zato. So realistically, honestly, you can probably just keep going up with the amount of skill you have from floor, like, even just floor 4 to floor, like, 10. And if you're keeping up with them, honestly, Zato will just confuse the shit out of people and you'll get better and better. There are plenty of guides on YouTube on how to use Zato efficiently, which is awesome. Zato is a great character. I love Zato. I can't say too much about him though, because I don't know much about Zato, but everything I do know is blowing me away. I have considered using him on more than one occasion. Maybe one day when I want a second main, I'll either main Zato or Sin. We'll see Sin later, but that's about all for Zato. Hope I covered everything I wanted to. I might need to re-record this voiceover, who knows. But that's Zato. That's the assassin with the blindfold. He's blind and stuff, I guess. Next character.